I need somebody to hear me today. When you are a chosen one, sometimes your only job, literally, is to be an opportunity for somebody else to get closer to God. A lot of people get confused as to why they're going through this and why they're going through that, and it's 1 year after next year after next year. You're dragging it out because you think that you have to uphold this sort of image or lifestyle, or because you feel like this is what tradition is. But if it doesn't feel right, it ain't right. Especially if you're a chosen one. Once you see that somebody is not of God, who doesn't care to walk with God, who doesn't have morals, values, integrity, but you do, God is seeing all he needs to see. You can move on. Don't drag out a situation that is pointless. Because what you'll end up doing is you'll end up living in someone else's karma and having to go through it with them because you're having a hard time letting go. Karma that you don't deserve. But as long as you keep yourself attached to that person, you're making life easier for them but harder on yourself. And that doesn't make any sense. And sometimes, like in my situation, it wasn't that my life, it wasn't that the brunt of it was on me, but I felt it because the person that I was with was not of God. And I would have to walk on eggshells. My children had to walk on eggshells. Mind you, there are children together. It was just chaotic. Chaos that we didn't have to live in had I just let go sooner. Now, you don't have to regret anything, because for a lot of us chosen ones, we have to learn as well. We have to learn these lessons of how to let people go, how to love them from a distance. Because this doesn't have to be a significant other. It could be family. It could be, friends. It could be anybody. But we have to learn how to love people from a distance, wish them well, and let them go on about their way. Because God may have other assignments for you, but you're holding on to the one that that literally is telling you it's not going to work out, will not work out. And before you know it, you spent 10, 15, 20 years in chaos. It's unfortunate that we live in a world now with social media where, because this was a thing back in the past, I've seen with like my grandparents and older people, but it's even worse now, because now everybody wants to appear a certain way, irregardless of what's really going on in real life. And that's the unfortunate thing. But you can literally be caught in somebody else's karma. And the indicator that this is happening is that when you finally get a chance to break away, y'all, when you finally get a chance to break away, depending on how severity the karma is for this person, you'll see their whole life flip upside down in front of you. It's almost like that scripture. No, it's literally like that scripture in the Bible, and I'm paraphrasing, guys, but it says something about how God will use your enemy as your footstool. And you don't even have to do anything but be you. Be God, who God called you to be. And when the more I think about it, it's a situation that, like, okay, let's just say if you have children, let's just say you have a son and a daughter, right? And they're like, let's just say 5 and 6. So the 6-year-old is the boy and the 5-year-old is a girl. So let's just say you catch your son throwing rocks at windows, throwing rocks at cars or something like that. You catch him. Now your daughter's not throwing rocks. She's just outside playing in the dirt. She's just having fun. But you catch your son. And so you tell them both to come in the house, because, come in the house. And you getting ready to whoop his behind. But let's just say your daughter is in front of him and you can't get to him. She's in front of him, not knowing that she's in front of him, but she's in front of him. She's just in the way. Are you going to whoop your daughter? No, because she wasn't throwing the rocks. You're going to wait until she gets her out of the way, or you're going to move her out of the way. In my case, I had to get moved out of the way because I just wasn't getting it. And that happens too sometimes. But when you know better, you do better. You don't have to wait. You don't have to wait until God moves you out of the way, especially if you're a chosen one. And I'm telling you, as soon as you move out of the way, you might see that person's life get real crazy. And as bad as you feel, and it may hurt your heart, especially if you've known this person for a really long time, but you don't want to get in the way of what God got going on. I'll tell you that you don't want to intervene on that. You don't want those problems. So just love that person from a distance. And when I say love, like in my case, there's no love there. I don't care about, that situation, but, that's just me. I don't wish bad on that person. But I'm just going to tell you the honest God truth. I'm not walking around here praying that my only prayer is that they get closer to God. That's it. That's all. I have literally zero feelings for that old energy. But that's just me. If you feel compelled to do that, to pray, and there's no harm in that at all. But what I will suggest is that you keep your distance, stay away, and let God be God. Because you don't want to find out what it's like when you try to take God's job or do God's job. All right. So I just wanted to share that with you guys today. Just been thinking about it. And I will catch you guys on the next one. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Talk to you guys later.